Juventini, welcome back to the All Juve cast. I'm Alberto, and we've got some big news. All eyes have been on our tour at the start of camp because we weren't sure if he was going to need surgery. He did well after the first day. However, big news on our tour today on Juve Today. All right, everybody. So Rugani has 4 teams interested in him. Imperative that Juve starts to make some sales. Hopefully, they can find a deal with one of these clubs for Daniele Rugani. Time will tell. Cristiano Ronaldo, extension. Jorge Mendes is trying to probe Juventus and see and test the waters if there can be a possible extension given to Cristiano Ronaldo. At his current wage, there's absolutely no way I see that happening, which is around 60 million euros. Of course, everybody has 31 in their mind. That's what he takes home net, right? So 60 million euros, I just don't see an extension happening for that. So unless he takes a significant pay decrease, I can't see them extending Cristiano Ronaldo. However, his agent, Jorge Mendes, is trying to make that happen. Dybala. Dybala's meeting is set for next week between his entourage and the club. Hopefully, they get the extension done. They're very close. So it's just a matter of time and details, in my personal opinion. So there you have it. Dybala's meeting next week. Talks with Locatelli continue. There was a phone discussion. I think now we're just waiting for the meeting date, but it's just details. Arsenal continues to have rumors circulating around them, ready to go all in on Locatelli. However, that is a long shot, as Locatelli wants Juventus. So again, have no fear about those rumors that are coming up. It's just a formality, just a matter of time before Locatelli is a Juventino. And now our tour, the news on our tour. This has many Juventini up in arms at basically the management of this player, whether it's his own personal decision making or that of the medical staff. But basically, what's happened is the calcification that was the issue. Is still an issue, and now they have to operate on our tour. I've been frustrated, and we talked about it on the live podcast yesterday, at getting to this point now and realizing that he needs surgery because he's going to be out potentially 2 months. He has hopes of returning for the end of August. That's about a month away. That would be extremely rapid healing and great rehab if he could get back for the end of August. But typically for this, it's a couple months. Now, the issue is, and I've criticized him a bit, but him and medical staff, whatever, for the mismanagement. Dating back to last season, this issue was there towards the end of the season. Okay. And now you start to hear the situation about, and we talked about it last season, guys playing through injuries and whatnot. But again, it's up to the medical staff. This guy played last season towards the end. They pulled him into the lineup to battle through this. He was getting shock therapy. He was getting steroids to play through it. So obviously Juventus felt they needed him for the push there for the Champions League spot or whatnot. They all made this decision together to postpone what happened. And again, how you feel about it at the time, talking to Daniel Jaffari, who is a great friend. He's a surgeon. He's a great friend of us here at All Juvecast. He's kind of given us the lowdown on it. And he said, look, the best course of action, and he said this last season, would have been to rest the player. Because obviously, as you continue with physical activity, especially intense physical activity, that of an athlete's, it flares up and it becomes worse, right, with the calcification. So the way they're explaining it, hot and cold, is kind of not accurate. It's basically active or inactive. So active means it was growing. And that's what they were saying in terms of his calcification for our tour, is that it was active. Don't think of it as hot or cold. It was active. So surgeon didn't want to operate on it because of the fact it was growing. Now they're saying at this moment in time, it is cold, is what say, basically inactive. It isn't growing anymore, and they feel more comfortable being able to operate and guarantee the procedure, right? However, this is where it becomes a bit of an issue and a bit of a frustration is I still don't feel any way you slice it. If the medical staff and Artur made a decision at that point, end of last season, that he was going to play, that still puts you in a situation where as he goes through that, you can tell something not right, whether he's still dealing with pain, the fact that he needs all this therapy and everything. As soon as the season ended, which was end of May, he should have been resting. He should have been resting to get things settled down. And then at that point, he should have seen, and they should have already known before that because he had so much rest. He was healing up and whatnot. And then they basically did say they would have to operate. They just didn't want to at that time because it's growing. That in its own right there should let you know that you need surgery. So I still have an issue with this. And there's a lot of people saying, don't criticize Artur or whatnot. Criticizing him or criticizing the medical staff, one way or another, it wasn't handled the best because they should have known at some point he's going to need surgery. My criticism, my frustration is the fact that you've come to mid-July and now are realizing you need surgery. It should have been handled better. He should have been ready to go for as close to the beginning of the season as possible. You shouldn't be hitting the first day of camp and then realizing, hey, you need surgery when you have been dealing with this since the beginning of May, really, when he kind of started flaring up with this and went through those issues. They should have known all along. So that's my frustration with it, and it doesn't change. Mismanagement on everybody's part. Should have been handled better. They should have known by this point. So medical staff, Artur, whatever, should have been handled better. There's no way I can see a scenario where even through the offseason, he doesn't come up being able to simulate the first day of training. They don't go nuts on the first day of training. So if all of a sudden now that he's made it through one day and it's like, oh no, I can't take this, like there's an issue here, you would have known that well before. So that's my frustration, is that this should have come up prior and should know. Regardless, Artur is going under the knife today. Let's hope for a successful surgery. Let's hope for the quickest rehab time possible and get him back on the pitch with us. Yeah, frustrating in terms of the manager and whatnot, but again, fingers crossed that it's the quickest possible recovery time. That's kind of it for the big news surrounding Juventus. The big one, of course, Artur getting surgery. Let's hope for a successful one. I'll keep you informed as things go, and make sure you like the video. Comment on your thoughts on this whole Artur injury situation. This is a wild one to me. Medical staff, Artur, mismanagement, in my personal opinion. How do you feel? And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We'll talk tomorrow. Forza Juve, Fino alla fine.